What is up, everybody? Out here in my garage with changed a little bit to my setup out here. Sorry for all the fan noise. We've got several fans running as well as an air conditioner. What we're going to talk about in this video is how I am updating my garage to deal with the heat out here. With these 4 mining rigs, and if I had no fans, no nothing, this garage would be easily well over 100 degrees, 110 degrees if not more. And that can definitely cause some issues, so you need to work on getting that heat out. So what I've currently done is I have all my mining rigs kind of on these 2 shelves here, and then they're back in the window. You can see a fan that is pushing the hot air out. So the hot air is rising from these units and then generally getting sucked out. So I've been doing that for probably about a month now as the weather's starting to warm up, and that's been working pretty well. It was keeping the garage around 90 degrees and around the mining units just under 100. Problem is that fan is pulling air out of my house, so it's pulling air conditioner, things like that, from the house, which isn't going to be good once summer gets here in full swing. So the first thing I've added is a separate air conditioner here out in the garage, which is pulling in the residual hot air just to keep the garage at a normal level. That's not necessarily for the mining rigs. That's just because our laundry machine, dryer, and we actually have some stuff out here in the garage. So that's just to keep the ambient temperature of the garage at a decent level. But again, that's not going to be enough once summer gets here. So what I'm going to be doing is setting up these mining units in a tent and then venting out the hot air outside and pulling in air from the outside to cool, and be testing that out as my setup. So I'm currently waiting for that to come in. So this is the introduction of where my setup currently is, what I'm currently working with, and then I'm going to be jumping to the next clip here in just a second with me with that setup and give you the difference of performance. So let me just give you a quick look at this real quick and then we'll jump into that. So just quickly to give you a little bit better view, got the rigs on these metal shelves here. They were on plastic shelves, but what the problem with the plastic shelves like I have here is the heat was getting trapped under them. Shelves were getting really warm and the hot air really couldn't rise up. So now with this, the air can kind of freely come up. I have the cooler units on the bottom. These are the units that generate the most heat. And then this is obviously venting out. It's currently 87 in the garage and 107 right where that is. It's also a little bit in the sun, but it's not uncommon for it to be about 100 degrees right around here. And like I said, the air conditioner is just for keeping the garage cool. Once this all gets put in a tent, that should really help the air conditioner be able to keep up with keeping the garage cool and kind of isolate this to its own thing. So we'll see. This will be a good video for any of you guys that are dealing with a lot of heat to see if there's enough airflow in the tent pulling in the ambient air from the outside to keep it cool. Alright, so let's jump into that. Alright, so we have the new grow tent set up. So let me kind of show you how I set it up, and along the way all these parts that I've used, the links will be in the video description below, so if I forget to mention specifically anything like that, all that information will be down there if you want to replicate this setup. The links will just be for the containment with the grow tent and the piping. Obviously nothing on the inside. If you want to see any of my build information, all that's in a different video. But enough of that, let's take a quick look at what we have set up here. Alright, first thing I'll show you is just the vent that I used in the window. So this will be linked in the description, but this is not something that it comes with. As far as the grow tent itself, I had to buy this little window piece so I could attach the 2 pipes. This is my intake. This is the ductwork that comes with the grow tent. This is the exhaust for the heat. This did not come with the grow tent, so I bought this separately, and I'm glad I did because for the way I'm doing my setup here, there would not have been enough that came with it for that. So right now, ambient temperature inside the garage 76, temperature at the top of the grow tent 101, and outside today I think it's like in the 60s right now. And you'll just have to pardon my cat. She is very not okay that the garage is different, so you'll hear her in the background. Alright, so obviously intake goes into the bottom, and then the exhaust comes out the top, and the grow tent has this covering so you can really get a good seal on the in and the out there. Alright, so let's go and take a look. It has a window in it, of course, so you can kind of look at it from the top and keep an eye on things. But if you want to go in, there's plenty of access points for sure. So here we are. A little bit louder in here for sure. Up there is the exhaust fan that is pulling out all the hot air that is rising up there to the top. That's my little temperature gauge. It's telling me it's about 101 degrees up there at the top. That pulls out all my hot air. And then down there you can see the intake. So currently with my setup, and I just finished this, so I'm not sure if this is going to be the best. But basically we're pulling in cool air into the middle. All my mining rigs have fans on the front that push air through the cards, so I'm hoping that means cool air kind of gets sucked in and then gets pushed out the back, and then obviously once it gets pushed out the back of the mining cards, the heat will rise up and get sucked out. So it's been running for about an hour. Currently none of the rigs are operating any hotter than they were outside of this, so that's good. And yeah, so far so good. Although it is a cool day out today though, in the 60s, so the real test is going to be what does this look like when it's 80 degrees outside. So there you have it. That is the setup of the tent there. This is using the Vivosun tent setup. This is the 48 inch by 48 inch, so 4 feet by 4 feet setup. I was originally going to go with just a 3-foot one, but this one had a bundle with the fan and actually ended up being quite a bit cheaper just to buy it all together. And it gives me a little more room in the tent to add any more rigs, things like that. So actually it'll probably work out pretty good in the end. So that is the setup. This definitely takes up a good side of the garage here. Not quite a fourth, more like a sixth of the eighth of your garage for sure. And you can see here, these are more access panels. So you've got more ways to get into it depending on how you set it up. And there are also, can't really see it down here, but these are vents that I have covered up currently. So you can open these up to let in more airflow if needed. So we'll play around with that, see if that's needed. But currently my goal is to create as much negative pressure so that the cold air coming into the bottom gets pulled up to the top as quickly as possible, creating that airflow and the for it going outside. Let me show the outside real quick, just so you can kind of see how I'm dealing with this on the outside. Alright, this is the outside. This is the vent with the hot air coming out. I'm going to be attaching this on here in a little bit, just so that there's some coverage for when it's not running. Keep any bugs or critters out, because obviously that's a big hole. And then for the intake, just using a carbon filter. The tent itself, you can see my cat in here staring at me. The tent itself comes with like a big filter. But obviously I couldn't figure out any way to attach this. You could just pull the air from the inside of your house and use that filter. That's kind of how the setup is designed for, but then you're pulling interior air from your home, which is kind of what I was wanting to avoid. I don't want to suck my air conditioner into this just to have it be blown out as hot air. So custom cut little piece of carbon filter. Yeah, you can get this real easy on Amazon, and that creates a nice little seal and make sure that the air going in there is clean. And then, like I said, once I put this on here, should be a pretty decent setup, at least for now. I'm sure I'll continue to work on it. So there you have it. That is my current solution to dealing with the heat in my garage with my crypto miners, getting them enclosed in that tent, bringing in the cooler air from the outside and venting it all outside, so that it has minimal impact on any of the temperatures in the garage itself. Like I said, all the links are in the video description below. If you want to see the exact things that I got, I'll link them all down there. You can get them on Amazon, get that same setup. Costs, a few $100 to get all the pieces that you need for it. I'll probably do some more update videos on this as the temperature gets hotter to let you know how it's holding up. Are the cards staying cool enough in there? Is the airflow good enough? Things like that. And be sure, if you have any questions, feel free to post them down in the comments. In the meantime, I'll be happy to talk and give you my thoughts on what I'm seeing down there. If you have any questions on your own setup, things like that as well. And if you're not subscribed already, be sure to subscribe. And if you liked this video, be sure to like it. It really helps me out. And I'll see you all in the next video. Thanks for watching.